Right now at 10, tracking down PFAS. La Crosse begins testing city wells for forever chemicals. And guilty of first-degree homicide. A jury finds Darrell Brooks at fault for the Christmas parade tragedy in Waukesha. Plus, the right to vote from jail. A former inmate says many behind bars don't have the resources to fill out a ballot.
You're watching WKBT La Crosse. This is News 8 Now at 10.
Good evening and thanks for joining us for News 8 Now at 10. I'm Ken Kozarowski. Amy is off tonight. The Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources is launching a new requirement to track down cancer-causing forever chemicals known as PFAS across the state. News 8 Now's Emily Haugen explains how the DNR hopes this effort gets them one step closer to a solution.
Beginning November 1st, the DNR will require Wisconsin cities with populations of over 50,000 to test their water for PFAS. Here in La Crosse, some of that testing has already begun.
Water is life.
Human beings are mostly composed of water, so everything that we ingest has a direct correlation on our health.
But for those whose water is contaminated with PFAS, water can cause more problems than it solves.
Consuming these chemicals over time at levels that we suspect health-based effects can happen, detrimental to people's health.
In hopes of tracking down PFAS levels across the state, the Department of Natural Resources has a new testing requirement. The tests look for dangerous levels of PFOA and PFOS.
So if a system has, any kind of water treatment, if they have filtration, disinfection, stuff like that, this sampling takes place after that.
Cities with 50,000 or more people were already able to submit their test results this month. The city of La Crosse was one of them.
If through this sampling we find out that PFAS is a big problem, of course, we will direct more resources to it.
According to a DNR database, all 8 of La Crosse's running wells have been tested. Each well had low contamination levels, none of them close to approaching a dangerous threshold. The DNR testing requirement will eventually apply to smaller municipalities. But for those who live in the town of Campbell, this is not a solution.
Each residence has their own well. The new requirement is for municipal water systems.
Still, for the rest of Wisconsin, the DNR says this is a step closer to more help.
Now for cities smaller than a population of 50,000 but bigger than 10,000, that testing will be required beginning February 1st. As for cities smaller than 10,000, that testing will be required May 1st. Reporting in La Crosse, this is Emily Haugen for News 8 Now.
And a representative from the city of La Crosse tells News 8 Now that they did not test the wells that are currently shut down. That includes the already known contaminated wells located on French Island. Time to switch it up, talk some weather. Let's send it over to Chief Meteorologist Bill Grohl.
Well, nice to have a lot more sunshine today compared to yesterday, but temperatures still a bit on the cool side. Upper 40s to lower 50s for highs. 49 in Eau Claire, 50 in Winona, 50 in Decorah, and 52 here in La Crosse. Average high 57. Now here's what you need to know. Seasonable temperatures tonight and tomorrow, and then milder. Another warming trend shaping up Friday through the weekend. I'm looking at highs 60 degrees or warmer, and also mainly dry through the weekend until later next week. Not all good news there because it's been so dry across the region, other than of course that rain we had this past Sunday and Monday. Some mid and high level clouds moving in. Now we do have some rain farther to the west. Unfortunately, a lot of that's going to fizzle before reaching our area if you're wanting some more rainfall. Temperatures already in the 20s in our traditional colder spots north and east. The rest of us in the mid to upper 30s to lower 40s. Colder to the north around Eau Claire, 33 there. So clouds increase tonight. Seasonably chilly, fairly light winds. Lows in La Crosse around 35, but as you saw, mid to upper 20s to the north and east. And as you send the kids out tomorrow morning, make sure they're bundled up, much like this morning. Mid 20s to mid 30s for temperatures in the morning, 51 by lunchtime. Afternoon highs right about average, around 57 degrees. I'll let you know just how warm we're going to get with this next warming trend in my 8-day forecast in just a few minutes.
All right. Thanks very much, Bill. Switching back to news now, a jury has found the man accused of driving an SUV through last year's Waukesha Christmas parade guilty on all counts. The jury deliberated for 3 hours and 15 minutes before finding Darrell Brooks guilty of 6 counts of first-degree intentional homicide this morning. Brooks drove his SUV through last year's parade, killing 6 parade participants and injuring dozens of others. With less than 2 weeks away from the November 8th elections, big-name campaign surrogates are starting to step out and support Wisconsin candidates on the ballot. Today, Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren was on the UW-Madison campus. She spoke about efforts to expand voting rights and supporting abortion and reproductive rights. She also brought an economic message to the college crowd.
This election, the economy is on the ballot. Republicans want this economy to work better for millionaires and billionaires. But Mandela and Tony and Josh and all the Democrats are committed to making this economy work for everyone.
Now, Warren won't be the last big name to campaign for Wisconsin Dems. Pete Buttigieg will be in Madison on Friday. Former President Barack Obama will be in Milwaukee on Saturday. And next Friday, Bernie Sanders is coming to La Crosse. Meanwhile, Tim Michels is getting some help from Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin on the campaign trail. Both spoke at a rally in Waukesha earlier today. Michels is in a tight race with incumbent Governor Tony Evers. Youngkin flipped the governor's seat in Virginia from blue to red and says it's possible for Wisconsin voters to help Michels do the same.
You see, last year, they said that a Republican couldn't win in a blue state of Virginia. Last year, they said that the media was too strong. They said the suburbs were too blue. They forgot to do one thing, ask the voters. That's what they forgot to do. A state that Joe Biden had won by 10 points, we won by 2. That means he's going to win by 12. That's what that means.
Well, the latest Marquette poll from October 12th showed Governor Evers had a lead by just 1%, which is within the 4.8% margin of error. Youngkin and Michels also rallied in Green Bay tonight. It's a common belief that voting is a right, but some people say they have to cut through barriers to access that right. News 8 Now's Dua Israr spoke to a former Wisconsin inmate who says eligible voters in jail aren't given the resources they need to exercise their right.
In the La Crosse County Jail, a program coordinator hangs up flyers to inform inmates that an election is coming and they can register for an absentee ballot. Now, one former Wisconsin inmate says that it's not always that simple.
Over the course of our nation's history, the right to vote has been expanded to reflect the people who live in this country. But people who are incarcerated are still waiting to exercise that right.
Without being able to vote, we have no voice as a constituency.
After serving in Iraq and Afghanistan, David Carlson spent roughly 5 years in jail on felony charges.
Returning from my second tour, I was incarcerated for 3 burglaries.
In the state of Wisconsin, people with felony charges cannot vote until they are off probation, parole, or extended supervision. Carlson is now a second-year law student and advocate for those who are incarcerated.
I essentially could practice law before I'm ever eligible to vote.
While Carlson can't vote, inmates who are awaiting trial or have been convicted of misdemeanor charges can still cast a ballot.
Ballots are sent here, they're provided to them with instructions of how to complete them, and then we assist in mailing them.
According to the ACLU, in 2020, 13,000 Wisconsinites in county jails were eligible to cast a ballot, but only 50 did. Carlson says identification is one of the biggest barriers that prevents inmates from voting.
Simply handing a person a form or an application, that's not going to work.
La Crosse County Sheriff Jeff Wolf says over the past few years, the county has been working to expand resources available to local inmates.
They have to go on My Vote Wisconsin, fill it out. We assist them if they need it because we give them access to a computer, or we give them a paper form where they list their most recent address and so forth.
Wolf says the La Crosse County Jail Administrator works closely with inmates to make the process as easy as possible.
Provide the assistance if they request it, and most all the time they do, so we do help them.
Carlson says he hopes to see inmates across the country be given the resources they need.
Those who are closest to the problem will also be closest to the solution.
And he says he wants everyone, including those with felony convictions, to be given the right to cast a ballot.
La Crosse County Sheriff Jeff Wolf says once the election is over, the jail program coordinator then helps inmates go to myvotewisconsin.gov to find out if their ballot was counted. Reporting in La Crosse, Dua Israr, News 8 Now.
Earlier this year, the Wisconsin GOP proposed a bill that would make it harder for those with felony convictions to vote. The bill would require people to complete required community service hours and pay off any financial penalties, including fines and victim restitution. Still ahead tonight at 10, caring for entire populations. Gunderson Health System leaders say when you take care of one patient's needs, the health of the whole community follows.
Looking at mattresses?
I'm just looking.
Jump on it, roll on it.
No.
Just pretend I'm not here. You have any questions?
Buying a mattress can be uncomfortable.
She seemed nice.
That's why Slumberland has modernized the process. Slumberland. Mattress shopping reinvented.
They found my sister's head in a wood-burning stove, her body in a cornfield, murdered by her own husband. The judge called it the most heinous crime he'd ever seen, and the killer was sent to jail for life. The Tony Evers Parole Commission set him free, and they didn't even tell us. Under Evers, hundreds of other violent criminals have been released early. It makes no sense. Governor Evers, everyone in Wisconsin is less safe because of you.
I see your hard work, everything you do to try to make it, but people continue to be left behind. I'm running for Senate to put more money in your pocket. Ron Johnson's had 12 years to make things better, but costs are still rising, and all he's managed to do is write a tax cut for himself. I believe better is possible. I believe hard work can pay off, and I'll never stop fighting until it does. I'm Mandela Barnes, and I approve this message.
Madison insider and career politician Steve Doyle, completely out of touch. Under Doyle's failed leadership, soaring inflation, high gas prices, rising crime, and party bosses and insiders are funneling over $500,000 to keep Doyle in power, answering to them, not us. It's time for change. Ryan Hipsch, born and raised here in the Cooley region. Ryan is a fresh voice who will always put our communities first, not the Madison insiders. Ryan Hipsch for Assembly.
Right now at Slumberland Furniture, you'll get 30% off all living room furniture. Yup, sofas, sectionals, tables, recliners, and more. All 30% off. Plus 30% off select mattresses and 20% off everything else. On now at Slumberland Furniture.
You're watching News 8 Now. Expect more.
New data shows Gunderson Health System is ranked at the top for local diabetes care and is #1 statewide for cervical cancer screenings. The Wisconsin Collaborative for Healthcare Quality released that data, which focuses on the health of certain populations. Leaders at Gunderson say diabetes is a growing issue in the La Crosse area. But if healthcare providers can help patients prevent and control their diabetes, it can help prevent other health problems.
When you improve the health of your diabetic population, you've done incredible things for individual patients. For example, you've avoided things like heart attacks, strokes, kidney failure, amputations, blindness. Those are really personal things that if we can help patients live a better life through better diabetic control, we've improved the health of the whole community.
Gunderson also ranked high for depression screenings, vaccinations in adolescents, and breast cancer screenings. Now, October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and there's one UW-La Crosse officer who's going all out to help find a cure. Officer Dave Pell has helped raise money for breast cancer by having a little fun in a pink tutu. Breast cancer awareness is a personal cause for Officer Pell. His mother and aunt were both diagnosed with the cancer. His mom survived breast cancer for 32 years. Officer Pell is retiring this spring, but he's got no plans to stop the fight or take off the tutu.
There's a good chance that I'll be back as a retiree next year, because the fact of the matter is breast cancer will still be around and we haven't found a cure, and we still need to have awareness out there.
Officer Pell has raised over $3,000 during his fundraisers. Coming up, electric vehicle owners in Trempealeau County have a new place to charge. Riverland Energy just installed the county's first Level 2 car charger.
And I'm Chief Meteorologist Bill Grahl. Another warming trend in store just in time as we head into the weekend. All the details coming up after the break.
Some things make you wonder, what the PATH? Like career politician Brad Pfaff voting to raise our taxes after promising not to. Then praising another $1 billion in tax hikes on Wisconsin families. Seriously, what the PATH? Or when he supported trillions of dollars in big government spending, creating record inflation. What the PATH? Makes you wonder how anyone could trust career politician Brad Pfaff. NRCC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Save big on everything at Menards. Light up your workspace with a new work light from Smart Electrician. This 10,000 lumen LED work light is portable, super bright, and weather resistant. All Smart Electrician work lights are 11% off. Keep a variety of birds coming back to your feeder with Enchanted Garden Bird Food. Its high-quality blends include sunflower, millet, and other grains to ensure the best for your feathery friends. Get 11% off all Enchanted Garden Bird Food now at Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
As an Army commander, I served God, family, and country. But the media, they say none of that matters anymore. When I was 9 years old, my dad handed me a shovel and put me to work. Nowadays, people get paid to sit on the couch. I'm Tim Michels. I'm not some career politician. I'm a self-made businessman who doesn't give a rip about the special interests or their money. I'm running for governor to turn Madison upside down and take back the freedoms that make Wisconsin great.
Tim Michels for governor.
Chevy Silverado. It's got the power you want and the capability you need to do the job so you can get to the important work. Find new moments, find new roads. Get $500 cash allowance on this Silverado with a 2.7-liter engine. Plus, current Chevy owners can get an additional $2,500 cash allowance. Plus, get a $1,000 accessory allowance toward a new Chevy truck with accessories.
Inflation's eating up all our savings.
Our home value is plummeting. Yet Biden and Mandela Barnes support a massive tax increase on middle-class families. Are you kidding?
Now Barnes supports hiring an army of IRS agents to audit working families. Who needs that headache?
How about Barnes starts worrying about paying his own taxes?
Wisconsin Truth PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Fall Home Show going on now at the Bourne Store. Visit today and see what's new and get your $250 discount coupon. Register for prizes and visit with designers. Hope to see you soon.
Thank you for watching News 8 Now. Expect more.
More electric vehicle charging is coming to rural communities. Riverland Energy Cooperative is celebrating a new charging station in Arcadia. Now, this is the first Level 2 station in Trempealeau County. It's at Riverland Energy's headquarters, which is right on Highway 93. The cooperative's leaders say it won't fill up your whole battery, but it's good to top it off.
And if folks who have electric cars need a boost to their batteries, etc., so they can make it back home, this is here so they can boost their battery and make it back home.
And it takes an hour of charging to get your EV about 30 extra miles. People can pay with an app on their phone or with a credit card. Another dry fall day in the world of weather. Let's send it over to Chief Meteorologist Bill Grahl for the latest look at your forecast.
Yeah, you know, we talk about roller coaster ride in temperatures often, but especially the fall and the spring months, we get some pretty good dips and valleys in that roller coaster ride. So hopefully you had your seatbelt fastened over the past 2 weeks. Look at these temperatures. These are the high temperatures, departure from average along the bottom row there. 42 was the high on the 14th, 40 degrees on Monday the 17th, and then we warmed into the upper 70s to lower 80s last weekend, 81 degrees on Saturday. So we're talking a 41-degree temperature swing in that high temperature over 5 days from last Monday to last Saturday. Now we're kind of on the dip again, as today, even though we saw a lot more sunshine than we saw yesterday. In fact, plenty of sunshine this afternoon. Clear sky early this evening before just a few high clouds started rolling in. Some nice colors with the afterglow there after twilight earlier this evening. But temperatures a little cool today yet, but only by 5 degrees. 52 is the high, 57 is average. We were also 5 degrees below that average low of 38. 85 and 18 are the records, and it remains dry. Over an inch below average for the month of October, over 6 inches below average for the year. 38 degrees, mainly clear sky, 40 downtown at the station. Winds out of the southeast at 5, pretty light though, so a slight wind chill of 34. Good evening to you folks up in Eau Claire, 33 degrees and a calm wind. The Chippewa River, by the way, up just a little bit, 759.3. So temperatures primarily in the 30s and 40s, but locally primarily 30s, and then even some 20s in our traditional colder spots. Sparta, Black River Falls over towards Camp Douglas, the Dells at freezing, 38 in La Crosse, 33 in Eau Claire, 36 in Winona, still 41 in Viroqua. Winds are pretty light in many spots, lots of calms on the wind speed map right now. So lows tonight, lower to middle 30s across the county, right around 35 or so in La Crosse, low to mid 30s down to the south as well, but Hillsboro 29, definitely some 20s. We're already in the 20s in parts of Monroe, Jackson, up into Clark County as well, and then right around the freezing mark, 31 or 32 degrees for Eau Claire and the Chippewa Valley. Just some high and mid-level clouds moving in from the south and west in advance of this little weak disturbance. It's going to run into some dry air thanks to this ridge of high pressure, so watch what happens on Sky Tracker. We get some clouds at times, but notice how the green just kind of fizzles and stays off to our west, maybe some spits and sprinkles at best, otherwise just some passing clouds. And then heading into Friday, dry with lots of sunshine, and temperatures are going to respond quite nicely. So zone forecast for tomorrow, about average, right around 57 or 58 degrees in the Cross. And again, if you're paying attention to the almanac, that's right at average. Mid to upper 50s down to the south, and as we head back to the north, more of the same. And then for Eau Claire and the Chippewa Valley, we're looking at afternoon highs right around 56 degrees. So not a bad Thursday. Had to get my days straight. Shaping up for tomorrow. 35 tonight, seasonably chilly with those increasing mid and high level clouds. We will have to deal with some clouds at times tomorrow, but seasonable, 57. And then lots of sunshine Friday through the weekend. And look at the temperatures responding quite nicely. 61 on Friday, low to mid 60s right through Halloween Monday. 66 on Tuesday, also mainly dry through that stretch. I know we need some rainfall, but it's going to be a nice stretch of weather for this time of year. Finally, a system brings at least a slight chance of showers around Wednesday or Thursday of next week, kind of breezy. Also some cooler temperatures behind that front as well.
All right, thanks very much, Bill.
Okay.
Coming up next in sports, the Wisconsin High School volleyball postseason continues tomorrow night, and the Holmen Vikings are not ready to go home. Rob caught up with the team as it gears up for the section semifinal. That story is next.
Thank you for watching News 8 Lacrosse. Here are tonight's winning Powerball numbers. News 8 Sports is brought to you by Mayo Clinic Health System. Whether you need routine care or treatment for a complex condition, Mayo Clinic Health System has convenient and safe options for the care you and your family need.
Did you know Tim Michaels wants to criminalize abortion, even for pregnant rape victims?
But are you willing to support exceptions for rape or incest? That's correct.
Is that the kind of divisive radical you want as your governor?
The day before Halloween on Sunday, October 30th.
It's Buzzy's 44th annual 12-hour sale. Get the best deals of the year. 12 hours only, 9 a.m. till 9 p.m. Furniture pricing has been drastically reduced with more than 50% off select products. Get a king-size Sealy mattress for the price of a queen. Plus, save $300 on select Tempur-Pedic mattresses and get a free gift with purchase. Come by the store or shop online. One day only at your locally owned Buzzy's Home Furnishings in Viroqua.
Nice welcomes you. Nice has your back. Nice laughs at your jokes. Nice goes out of its way just to make sure. At Western National Insurance, nice is more than, well, nice. It's our whole deal. And when you experience it, it's pretty nice. Western National Insurance. The power of nice.
Under Tony Evers and Joe Biden, it's been bad, but it's gonna get much worse because winter is coming. That's right. Reports are saying natural gas heating bills are going up by 28%. Inflation has already caused pain at the pump, grocery checkouts, on rent. But this fall, there's still time to stop the winter pain by voting no on Tony Evers before he makes it even worse, if that's possible.
Did you know Tim Michaels pledged to cut millions from public schools?
We're already throwing so much money at education.
He'll drain classrooms and gut school funding. Is that the kind of divisive radical you want as your governor?
News 8 Now Sports is brought to you by Mayo Health System. Here's News 8 Now's Rob Schiff.
The Wisconsin High School volleyball playoffs continue tomorrow night, and the Holmen Vikings are still alive. They survived a 5-set thriller over the weekend, and now the squad is gearing up for a big match on the road. The Vikings will take on Middleton High School Thursday night with a chance to punch their ticket to the section final. Holmen's had a monster year up to this point, MVC champs during the regular season. The Vikings were 11-1 in conference play, earning them a 3 seed in the Division I postseason bracket. Holmen made it look easy over Madison East last week. A tougher test on Saturday, though, against DeForest, but the Vikings passing that one as well, and the girls are just a couple of big wins away from heading to Green Bay. Now the Vikings play a Middleton squad. They got past last season in the playoffs, and the team tells me they'll need their A game on Thursday to achieve that same result.
They're hungry for us. Last year we ended up beating them to go to state, so they're in a great spot, and we just need to go in and beat their energy and beat their front row.
Because we played them last year and they lost and it was a game to go to state, we know that they're out for blood, really. They really are going to want to win this one. But since we did play them, we already know their weaknesses and we're going to pinpoint them and making sure that the energy is on our side the whole time.
I feel like when we come out, we didn't really know how the season was going to go, obviously losing 10 seniors, but we came out really strong and we just started winning a bunch of games. I think that really got us on a good roll and we haven't really lost. I think we have like a 14-game winning streak, so it just feels good, like we're on top and we're hoping to stay there for a while.
Vikings will get that opportunity tomorrow night against Middleton. The winner punches their ticket to the section final on Saturday. Let's take a look at all of our area teams in action tomorrow night. Big one in Westby, Blue Golds and Norseman clashing at 7 in Division II. West Salem still alive. The Panthers are at home tomorrow night, hosting Platteville, and in Division IV, Waniwak Center's at home taking on Plum City Elmwood. Madness in Madison tonight. Badgers taking on #1 Nebraska in a rematch of last year's national title game. Wisconsin coming out red hot. Sarah Franklin with the kill. Badgers take the first 25-22. Second set, more of the same. Another battle, but the Badgers with too much size at the net. Big block here as Wisconsin goes up 2-0. Let's go to the third now. Second match point for the Badgers, and Danielle Hart puts this one in the books. Wisconsin knocks off #1 Nebraska 3-0. It's the first time the Badgers have beaten a #1 team in the regular season since 1997. Let's hit the hardwood. Bucks at home looking to start the year 3-0, taking on Brooklyn. Pick it up in the third. Milwaukee down 2. So Giannis goes baseline up and under. Layup ties the game at 64. Bucks up 4 now late in the third, but Kyrie Irving cuts that lead in half. He banks one off the window. Nets cut the deficit to just 2, but too much Giannis in the fourth. And when he comes down the lane, he's impossible to stop. Count it, plus the foul. Bucks go up by 12. And then on the next possession, Giannis showing off his post moves. He's going to spin baseline, muscles way up for 2. Tells Ben Simmons he's just a little too small. 43 points on the night for Giannis. Bucks make it 3 in a row. They get the win, 110-99. Wolves looking to bounce back tonight against San Antonio. They fell to the Spurs on Monday, but different story in this one. Karl Anthony Towns lefty baseline floaters good. Minnesota up 12 late in the second. Third quarter, Spurs go on a run. Keldon Johnson, the drive, the dunk, the foul. Spurs cut the deficit to just 8, but in the fourth, Wolves pull away. Jalen Noel, strong drive in traffic, two-hand slam is good. Wolves bounce back. They get the win over San Antonio, 134-122, as they improve to 3-2 on the year. Let's go back to the Badgers real quick, though.
Sure.
I mean, to play a team that, you beat in the national championship last year. They're 1 this year, the #1 right now. First time beating a #1 since 1997. That's 25 years.
This program's on a roll. If you're not a big fan of college volleyball, you ought to get to be one. Because Badger volleyball is among the best in the business.
Great crowd, too. The crowd was pumped. It was awesome to see.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Rob.
You got it.
More news after the break.
A governor's job is to make your life better. But would anything on Tim Michaels' agenda actually help you? His rhetoric is violent.
People should just be ready to get out in the streets with pitchforks and torches.
At his company, women say they were pressured to have sex with their bosses. And he said he'd consider abolishing the Department of Public Instruction. It's a radical's dream, but it wouldn't do a single thing for you. Tony Evers' plan is pretty simple. Create good-paying jobs and bring costs down. That's the right plan for Wisconsin.
Do home improvement projects scare you? Materials, permits, disposal, installation. Where do you start? With over 27,000 successful projects, all with certified professional installers, your home improvement company can make it easy from beginning to end. Schedule your appointment with us in October and get 10% off your entire project. Enjoy interest rates as low as 2.99% or 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments until 2024. Your home improvement company, where it's your home made better.
Radical Tim Michaels is extremely divisive.
I don't care who I offend.
And at his company, the culture comes from the top. Multiple court filings say women were sexually assaulted, harassed, and pressured to have sex with their bosses.
If she refused demands for sex, she would be blackballed from working on a pipeline job.
Higher-ups dismissed the women as liars and fired those who spoke out.
I don't care who I offend.
That's how Tim Michaels runs his company. Don't let him run our state.
It's Ford SUV season. Time to gear up for changing conditions on and off-road. Get great deals on our most capable lineup of Ford SUVs, including Ford Explorer and Bronco Sport. Both rated 2022 IIHS top safety picks, and both designed to give you greater confidence. Hurry, Ford SUV season will end soon. Now, for a limited time, get $500 retail order bonus cash on a 2022 Ford Explorer and Bronco Sport, only at your Northland Ford dealers.
Breaking news in Dallas, Texas, where at least 5 police officers were killed when they were ambushed.
This was the deadliest day for U.S. law enforcement since 9/11.
Just days after this horrific crime, Mandela Barnes appeared on Vladimir Putin's propaganda news outlet and rationalized violence against American police officers.
Police officers are over-exercising their badges. This probably was a retaliatory attack.
Do you want Mandela Barnes representing you in the Senate?
I'm Ron Johnson, and I approve this message.
The news continues on News 8 Now. Expect more.
A rural performance venue is expanding its types of performances. GET's Performing Arts Center has hosted school productions since it opened in November of 2020. But this year, the center is bringing in non-school district performers from outside the region. 6 professional performances are coming to Galesville this year, everything from small instrumental ensembles to comedians and even a Broadway production. The center's creative team wants their rural community members to have a cost-effective means to enjoy a professional experience. Now, ballet lacrosse is hitting an exciting milestone. The ballet company, part of Misty's Dance Unlimited in Onalaska, is celebrating their 10th season. This weekend, they will perform Marushka and the Four Seasons at the Weber Center. The performances will feature young ballet dancers from the area, and dance teachers say that this is a perfect opportunity for all students, no matter their interests.
So the oldest kids, a lot of them might have aspiring dreams to be professionals one day. Maybe they do some other sport, and this is like a nice little cross training or side passion that they have. We can show some amazing talent within this, but we can also show just that love and that passion that people have.
The dancers will have their 3 performances this Saturday and Sunday. And we'll be right back to wrap things up.
Get the day's news in your inbox. Email newsletters from News 8 Now. Sign up today. Go to news8000.com/newsletters to get started.
Democrats defunded and dispirited our police, creating the worst crime wave in decades. Biden spent us into 40-year high inflation, drove gas prices to record levels, and opened our borders, causing a flood of illegal immigrants and deadly drugs. Mandela Barnes supports all the policies causing you and your family so much pain. He will rubber stamp their liberal agenda. Mandela Barnes sides with radical leftists, not with you.
I'm Ron Johnson, and I approve this message.
This is fentanyl, so dangerous that one pill kills. They make it in China, smuggle it through Mexico. Across our border that Joe Biden surrendered to cartels and gangs. Brad Pfaff backs Biden's open border agenda 100%. Fentanyl killed 1,200 people last year in Wisconsin alone. Now every town is a border town. Pfaff won't stop the drugs, so we have to stop Brad Pfaff.
I'm Derek Van Orden, and I approve this message.
Wisconsin is a home of workers. We know it needs to get done, and we do it. Yet, we've been hit hard, some harder than others. Our contact may be limited, but we still can lift each other up. The Keep Wisconsin Warm Cool Fund and your local energy providers are working together to help keep your heat and power on. You may not ask for it, but we want you to know we're here.
The Cooley region has been good to me and my family, and I wanted to give something back. That's why I ran for the state assembly. And I've tried to do good things in Madison for the people of western Wisconsin. Wisconsin is facing a lot of problems today, and we need people who understand how things work. Right now, Wisconsin has a $5 billion surplus. With that surplus, we need to cut taxes. We need to fix our roads, and we need to fund our schools, and we need to do that now.
Chevy Silverado. It's got the power you want and the capability you need to do the job so you can get to the important work. Find new moments, find new roads. Get $500 cash allowance on this Silverado with a 2.7-liter engine. Plus, current Chevy owners can get an additional $2,500 cash allowance. Plus, get a $1,000 accessory allowance toward a new Chevy truck with accessories.
His job?
was to serve and protect. Instead, reports say Dave Estenson assaulted and preyed on girls for years. One report of sexually assaulting a teenager. Multiple reports of Estenson trying to coerce girls into sexual favors to avoid citations. And Estenson wants to ban all abortions, forcing victims of rape and incest to carry their predator's child. Sexual predators belong behind bars, not in the state Senate.
Seasonably chilly tonight, lows in La Crosse around 35, 57 tomorrow with a mix of clouds and sun, so seasonable, and then mild Friday right through the weekend, looking good for the ghosts and goblins on Halloween as well, but low to mid 60s. I know we need some rainfall, but that's a nice stretch to wrap up October.
Yes, indeed. Thanks, Bill, and thank you for joining us tonight at 10. We'll see you tomorrow.